language, man. I mean, this is we need to have a thing, wealth talk. Go ahead, my brother Marlon. Marlon Griffin. I'm like Marlon Griffin, man. Bloomfield. Is it Bloomfield Hills? Is that what
Bloomfield
it's
Hills,
called?
Michigan. Yeah, yeah. Originally from Detroit, but spent a lot of time out in Bloomfield. That's where mom lives now at the crib.
Nice.
hmm
So you coming back around the Hampton Roads area? Tell me what you got going on.
We always tied to Hampton Roads just by default from Hampton University, right?
Hmm.
And it's actually the first place that we started looking at some opportunities for some income in properties. And
Really?
yeah, it is. We looked in California initially when we lived in California, but when we came back to the East Coast, living in the Northeast, we wanted something that would be easily accessible. So if we got
Hmm.
to hop on a bird and get across it, just without having gone and vetted through property management companies, the
Yeah.
first place I wanted to start is I always figure, if you roll up your sleeves and you learn the tasks that are required, then you can manage, what I'm saying, those tasks and lead the people, right?
Hmm.
So I got to know the task first, and then once I know the task, then I know what it should look like. I know the complexity of it, and I know what's the right skill set to be able to say, okay, I can give that task, or I can delegate that task to somebody, and here's what it will look like, and I can
Delegation.
prepare them. Yeah, you got to delegate. You just can't do it yourself. You
Wow,
just
man.
can't.
Your whole mind is just thinks differently than I don't say differently, but just thinks in a different way than and I'm looking at the cash flow quadrant, and the E looks like I do everything, whereas the investor and business owners think a delegation, Marlon. Where did you come up with that? Well, how did you get into this delegation thing? Because it's a skill.
Yeah, you know what it is, and part of it is being comfortable with letting go of things. I mean, I guess you eventually get to. I think there's a couple of different analogies that I've used. Like, for example, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? You can't boil the ocean, right? I
Mm,
mean, all those things speak to, if we were octopus, or octopi, or jokingly, as we used to say, Jamaican, you can
mhm.
handle, several tasks. But even then, there's a limit on the return on that investment, because eventually you're gonna get, either like me, I get tired with tasks quickly. So if once I've done it a couple of times, I kind of either I feel like I can master it, or I'm asking more questions to get to a level of mastery.
Mhm.
And then when I give it off, not only do I know what I'm talking about, so I'm not asking to do something I don't know, but I also know what to expect. You
Yeah.
know,
Well, you don't have that. You don't have the air of I know. I mean, you always have a. I feel like you're like a cup that's half full, where you're always kind of taking stuff in all the time. Like you're just taking
yeah.
in data.
I mean, anybody who tells you they know everything, man, turn and run, right?
Yeah.
It's just not reality.
Hmm.
Now you might have a lot of exposure, you might have experience, and those things, those are priceless. Experience, right? As old adage I learned, a new broom sweeps clean, but an old broom knows the corners.
Mm.
And that's where, I think I live my life the same way. Somebody homeless or destitute, and their appearance does not distract me from saying a hello or how are you doing, or engaging just a conversation, because I could be there one day.
You're right. I'm
And I
thinking
think
about that too.
everybody's got a gift, and so I joke, because like in San Diego, I can have a full blown, conversation about the stock market as an example, or property values,
Hmm.
and go up to LA, and that person might cuss me out, so
Mm.
little things like that sort of go into geography and different markets, and how
Mm.
different markets kind of are different, and how people are different. Some people don't mind at a slow pace, and others methodical, consistent, and execution is the name of the game. So you're gonna tell me who you are just by doing business with you.
That's right. So, what's your ideas you were calling about this Airbnb, Marlon? What did you have in mind? What were you thinking for you?
I mean, a lot of things come to mind. Catering to specific markets, of travelers, different types of travelers. If it's the backpack traveler, if it's the couples traveler. If it's the nowadays, you got your place like Nevada or LA, people who are in and want to, or Colorado, they want to do, the marijuana trips.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to find, there's a market, right? I guess the one thing I'll step back and say is if you're ever not sure if there's a place for you in business, just go to the grocery aisle and look at all the different types of bread sitting on the shelves.
Mm.
They're all bread, but they all have a little bit of a tweak to them. It's honey, whatever, right? But there's space.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that's ever going to stop anybody from being successful is the person they look in the mirror and see every day. That's who stops you.
So what did you have? You had would you want to talk about this Airbnb thing here, or what do you think?
Yeah, let's talk about it because I'm curious of Airbnb is different than a lease, right? A lease agreement, kind of long term. And I'm curious about like what are the criteria that are expected to be a Airbnb supplier, if you will, or a residence that can list. What makes it different, and what is the difference in the process?
Yeah, well, the main thing is, well, first I want to preface this by saying I'm not an expert, and my Roundup family, thank you for joining us. And once again, if you're just joining us, I'm hanging out with my boy from Hampton University. Wow, Marlin Griffin, Marlin Griffin.
Hey, brother.
It's so cool, man. I'm not an expert. I only have one.
Okay.
I only have one right now, and it is. I'm telling you, Marlin, this month it'll do 3,400 in July. But I can. I mean, if you want to see the numbers, I can show you. But the numbers are staggering. But to get into it, really, I think it just requires the will. I don't have it all down regarding the insurances because we have a standard insurance policy. I need to do more research on that. But getting it from what I've seen is just the staging, man. It's got to be staged to the T.
Mm-hmm.
And what you did
So,
at that one I saw was, I mean, that was
well,
just
we fully furnished that one, right? Because one of the things as we're looking at, this direction and amassing this portfolio is, so there's these different handshakes. There's the Airbnb. There's
yeah.
I'm going to be a landlord, but then there's also corporate.
That's true, dude.
Short-term housing,
They can do
long-term housing.
they'll do a month to 3 months more, and then your book. I mean, that could be 2,000 a month.
So and then you kind of maybe balance because those units are going to be furnished anyway. You
Yeah,
balance that between an Airbnb and booking when you don't have someone, so you kind of playing both sides of the fence, but you're
you're right.
more at the end of the day you're getting income.
Hmm.
And
Is
it
that what
kind
you?
of goes that just goes back to the conversation that you and I had, which is we are taught how to work hard, and go get the money. This career, that career, whatever it may be, academia is all centered around knowing how to complete tasks, how to research them and complete them. Not
Active income earner. Active.
yeah. So that active income learner is someone who gets. It's not it's not a get to the destination and you're done. The destination, it keeps shifting, and
Mm,
if it doesn't keep shifting, then you're at a plateau, right? So how do you get your money when you're sitting on, you got income? If you're not using it, then it's just
mm,
moldy and going old. I mean, you're not making your maximum return. And the
hmm.
whole intent of investing is it's not so much for me and my wife. It is as it is to be able to pass down a lineage
That's
of
right, dog.
wealth.
That's right.
So if I'm not passing wealth on, like I hear people, I've heard two different things that just make me, tremble inside. Really, I mean, I just get irritated and furious. One is when folks say, "Oh, don't talk about somebody dying." Hey, look, everybody dies. If you are not strategically set up with some type of insurance instrument, to
Mm,
make money, um,
wow.
it's just a part of the investment of life.
Wow. That's crazy, man. My pastor said one time it was oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. You get cut off on Marlon?
Yours is just a house, though. There you go.
Yeah. You got cut
Okay,
off,
there
Marlon.
you go. You know what? Let me move to a. Okay, I'm gonna go to a. My Wi-Fi signal is strong.
I'm losing you.
Let me go to the
Round up family,
library.
if you're just joining us, I'm hanging
Uno
out with
momento,
my
por
boy
favor.
Marlon, just talking about this in new Airbnb amongst this money talk, actually, Marlon. wealth management too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
But
all, money. We don't talk about money. It's almost like we don't talk about our health. That used to be the thing, right? Black men don't talk about their health, but I got a couple friends. We started something where we, our question at least once a month is, how's your health, black man? You
mm,
know, we and we had. I used to do these conference calls where we would get some like-minded men together, and we kick the ball around on different topics. And the cool thing, just like this conversation, okay, we're probably gonna poke the bear several times. Somebody
yeah.
in the audience, they're going to hear, they're going to be like, oh man, okay, that sounds interesting. That sounds interesting.
Mm,
But whatever, at the end of the conversation, the question has to be, what's next?
mm,
And then you got a cue to it. If you aren't moving, then you just fantasizing. You talking good talk. Is what some people might say. Um, and sometimes it's fun to just daydream, but
no,
when
man.
when your money is behind it and you
Yeah.
realize that it's your livelihood and your lifeline for the rest of your lineage to pass on, you always queued up on money. Oh, so what do you do? Okay, let me put that into my annals, and maybe that's not a lane I'm ready to go into, or maybe it is. Or maybe it just says you need to do some more research.
Hmm.
And one of the things mentors of mine have always told me is always turn that page one more time. Just when
Wow.
you're ready, turn the page,
You're
pick up
talking,
another
Marlon.
periodical, read another book, find another professional, ask them, so what's
Well,
up, ladies.
what brings you to the Airbnb thing, or what made your pique your interest on that?
Just always, entertaining every opportunity that's out there, and Airbnb is interesting because what I like about it, it doesn't lock a particular property up for a long extended period of time. So I may be able to play with it for certain events. Like I'm thinking in Tidewater, I'm thinking of homecoming season. I'm thinking of jazz
Oh
festival
yeah.
season. I'm thinking of, okay, so when I start kind of tying those together, how much is that possibly? And then what would I need to do to offset it to be able to make sure I'm always breaking, even for the most part, right? So does that mean, okay, well, you could do Airbnb and here's your trend? Well,
Hmm.
so that means I might lose some money, right?
You never know. You don't know.
Um,
I didn't know.
and you don't know. You don't know. So you don't know what you don't know.
Hmm.
And, but you can second guess yourself all the time. And that's probably that's an entrepreneur's worst nightmare is second guessing yourself. Because that just means you end up stopping and, you can put yourself into a box asking questions of, well, what if? Best advice one of my boys out here in Boston gave me was this: if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk.
I think I heard that one before.
If
All right.
if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. I said,
That's crazy.
man, I almost got that tattooed on my forearm
That's
because
crazy.
everybody wanted to be. What if? Okay, well, what if?
Let's do it. Let's
You know.
do it. Okay.
So that's with Airbnb. You've tried one. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. I'm curious about the market and MRM Holdings to expand beyond Virginia into some
Okay.
of these other marketplaces. So,
Hmm.
the way we structured the company um, was, you structure your company in the state you're making money where you got to pay your taxes, right? And then our company, our main entity, parent company owns the other companies.
Gotcha. So you're gonna is this something that you're interested in doing here, or what did you I mean, are you I know you said you just got an
With
offer accepted.
Airbnb,
Is it something for that one, or is this something is that one
I
something
mean,
that you were thinking?
it's one of those things that stays in the wheelhouse, right? It's kind of like a Ferris wheel, I keep it on the Ferris wheel and it's gaining momentum in my head as I'm doing my research and I'm looking. And, probably within 2 weeks, I'll know,
Gotcha.
you know, I'll know if that feels right. Like, okay, this feels right. Let's do it.
It's highly active though, man. I wish I could say it was like my rentals and my lease options.
Hmm.
Is those are like so passive. I mean, I
Hmm.
got a whole bunch of Section 8 direct deposit, and then the lease options they literally go to the bank and deposit the money. But this Airbnb thing, man, I mean, highly active.
Okay.
So I
So,
would.
And again, it's so Airbnb probably a little bit more wear and tear, I would think, with the
Mm-mm.
turnover. No,
Actually, it's opposite, Mom.
just the
It's
opposite.
opposite. I did a
So
video,
tell me.
dude. I did a video. Go ahead.
No, I'll say
What
it.
you
Tell
say?
me.
So I did a video, right? Because I thought the same thing. I'm like, people coming, going, coming, going, coming, going, coming. I'm like, they're gonna tear my shit up, right? So I did it for 6 months, right? I went in there. I'm like, you know what, man? This place is spotless.
Okay.
Marlin, the place is spotless. Not only does it get cleaned once or twice a week,
Okay. So
because
you got a cleaning crew
yeah, we got
every
cleaning.
time you turn it over. Okay.
Absolutely. So not only does it get cleaned every week, but the people in there, they don't even use anything, Marlon. They don't use
Right.
anything. And sometimes they might do. You walk in there and be like, did somebody stay here last night?
Right.
Mar- Marlon, they're not even, they might not even use the kitchen.
Right. Right.
This is why I'm actually falling in more in love with Airbnb as time goes on. They're not tearing your house. The only thing I have noticed is they will sometimes go in there. You know how people like to get a hotel room and just let go. They'll
Yeah.
wash
Yeah.
their hair,
Yeah.
leave hair everywhere. It might be need to be cleaned a little more, but
Mm.
man, they do. You talking about no wear and tear, dude.
So what are the specs like? When I think Airbnb, I think basically like hotel, right?
Hmm.
So are there different expectations? Because like immediately what comes to mind is like, okay, are you, do you furnish, items in the fridge, or is that like an add-on?
Yeah,
Extra towels,
gotcha.
and linens and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
good
kind of tell me
question.
a little bit about that.
Yeah, man. So I said, man, I'm glad you asked that. So what we you don't it's completely up to the host. They call it being a host, but for us, I like to go above and beyond. We, to be honest with
Okay.
you, man, we think about Disney World and everything we do. So we give
That's
them
right.
bottled water
Uh,
and we give them snacks in there, and sometimes we'll have a bottle of wine in there when they show up. Nothing extravagant, but just something to say, hey, thank you for staying. Especially if they're spending like you mentioned the jazz festival nights, they're spending $200 a night, So when they show up, you give them a little bit more of an experience. But you do not have to supply that, and you can be as hands-on or hands-off as you want.
ooh,
But I think that's going to determine how good your turnover rate is. I mean, we were booked 26 nights out of 30 last month, Mark.
ooh.
So I think it really is about based on the host. And if you look, to be honest with you, my friend, you know the rules of Napoleon Hill, how important it is to go above and beyond. Like if you
Mm-hmm.
look at these hosts online, dude, I can go on Hampton and see you just some garbage hosts, dog.
Well, you can go on a realtor, right, and see, people who trying to sell a house and staged it, worth a hoot,
Yeah,
right?
same thing,
Don't
same
put,
thing.
shadows in the pictures that they post in, all their personal possessions, looking like,
Yeah.
many junior hoarders. And
Hmm.
you look and you say, man, I'm curious, was it you, the homeowner, or the agent that decided to post these pictures? Because they terrible.
Yeah, you never know. But we did a full staging, and I think you already understand how the staging works, but your pictures. But we go above and beyond. We do extra linen in the towel in the spare closet. We
Okay.
actually give them a blow up mattress, Marlon, so they can put that down if they have somebody else to come in there.
Okay. So you give them they got a little spare setup as well, right? Like a pullout almost, right?
Yeah, like a pull out. And then the good thing about Airbnb is you can put two mattresses. Just think about a hotel room because it took me a minute to get over this concept too. Hotel rooms, one room, two beds.
Right.
So I'm like, my partner brought this to my attention. He's like, man, Chris, we could probably get another bedroom in here. At first, I wasn't with it. But then, Marlon, when I put the other bedroom in there, I'm like, you know what? They get a bedroom with two beds, and they still get to leave that bedroom to go to the bathroom, and they still get a kitchen and a living room. I'm like, you know what? Let's try it.
So are these mostly one bedrooms or like one bedroom lofts, or what have you focused on? But right now you've got one. The one unit that you do have Airbnb, what is it?
But it's just a two-bedroom with a small little loft.
Two bedroom.
Just like you
Okay.
remember the
Do you
joints
have
over there in like Lantana.
okay. Now do you have
Like,
to deal with the homeowners association at all with it, or
mm-mm. I haven't had any problems with them.
okay.
But you might
Okay.
if there were, yeah, that would be a question, something that you have to Yeah, man, you need to find out that.
Yeah, I would drill down because I know out in Palm Springs, was it Palm Springs and another one in Nevada. I'd heard some nightmares, borderline nightmares
Yeah,
of homeowners associations cracking down
I believe it.
on the Airbnb
I believe it.
because these were locations that were like specifically for their tranquility, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
you go to the ski place, right, and it's an Airbnb. Everybody around there are owners. Here comes the Airbnb tenant, and they
yeah,
want to party and hang out at the hot tub, smoke weed all
yeah.
night,
It could be.
stuff like that, right?
It could be.
You know,
Not here though. I
so
don't think. I mean, I don't think you get that. Maybe what in Kiln Creek. I mean, you might want to. I
well,
don't
I'm gonna
know,
check.
man.
You got two associations there, right? So
Oh
I'll check
yeah,
into
what do you
that,
have? The golf and the
but
homeowners layered.
yeah, the golf is the master plan, and then there's the association for the division. So
Yeah,
each division has their own sub.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. I
but
do something
yeah,
like that.
it's something I'm definitely gonna be looking into because I mean, we like the idea of having nice quality furnishings in the unit that
Yeah,
make them appealing. And I think part of the Airbnb piece that I've gotten thus far is a lot of your usership,
professional.
if you will, is based on the comments that each is kind of like um, guys, like a ride sharing app, right? If
Hmm.
people like you and they give you 5 stars and on your Uber, boom, you're going to probably get more visuals that say, oh, okay,
Oh, no doubt,
you know,
no doubt, no
same thing with
doubt.
Airbnb, bad service, this wasn't working, this is broken. Nah, nobody's going to, check into that. So,
It's ironic, Marlon. It's weird. I never knew people coming back 2, 3 times. I never knew the people
yeah,
were coming in. I
yeah,
thought Hampton
yeah.
was like a town where nobody came to. I don't know what I was thinking. But when I was nervous when I did it, right? But I'm like, people are staying, and then they call me up, like, I really enjoyed your unit. We want to come back and stay there. So they're coming. These are repeat people staying.
Yeah, yeah. And that's what I'm hoping is that's why it piqued my interest is I've had a condo, a waterfront condo in Michigan that
Hmm.
was right by the airport, and I come to find out that I had several neighbors who it was their drop spot by means of corporate rentership,
Hmm.
and so flight attendants that instead of going to a hotel,
Same
boom,
thing.
here it's a condo, fridge, kitchen,
Same.
boom, and they come in, they stay for a night, they're gone,
Yeah.
you
Good
know,
idea.
and but you got the full booking. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me know when I can. Obviously, I'm right here, man. I don't know
yeah,
who your realtor is, but whatever, man. It
we'll
requires a
we'll
different
kick
skill.
we'll kick it around.
Yeah.
We'll take that one offline. I definitely want to chew your chomp because it looks like I got the inspection on Tuesday next week. So
Cool. Okay.
you know,
All right. That's all I had, man.
yeah, they nothing else, nothing else. Okay,
Nah, man. I gotta get to day to daycare, man. With lunchtime.
yeah, that's right. Hey, get after it, man.
All right,
I'll
dog.
holler at you, Chris.
Yes, sir. All right.
All right, man.
Peace.
Peace.
So around that family, you see Marlon. The guy knows what he's doing. I love the way he speaks his English. His command of the English language is very commendable. I just love listening to him. His words come out, they flow. So Roundup. Unfortunately, Jessica Siegel called me about an hour ago. She's sick. We will not have attorney time today. I know I'm sad too. But if you don't mind bearing with me, I'll be on vacation next week. So you might not see that many videos from me. Well, you'll see none. I'm going up in the mountains. I won't have internet access. So I love you, Roundup family. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. And please like the content, comment on how do you carry your Airbnbs or what are you doing to set your Airbnbs up? Okay, peace.